Hello everybody and welcome back to another brand new video on the Traxion channel. Now on Monday we saw a brand new update for rFactor 2. In fact, it was a very big update. We have 4 new cars, a brand new circuit and lots of other changes. So I thought I would jump on it for the first time right now and give you some initial impressions. Now as I was saying, there is a lot of content to get through today, so a quick disclaimer before we jump in. Ourselves, TraxionGG and Studio 397, who develop rFactor 2, are both part of the Motorsport Games family of brands, but we are fully editorially independent and removed, so any opinions are our own, and you can check out our full editorial policy in the description below. Now first up, we have 2 new British touring cars and a brand new track as well. So here is the new circuit, World Wide Technology Raceway, otherwise known as Gateway. So we have an oval configuration, and we also have this fairly straightforward looking road course configuration, which I'm going to drive for the first time today. I do not know it, but it looks like it's going to be fairly straightforward to learn. We also, of course, have 2 new British touring cars. We have the Hyundai i30N, which I will come to shortly, and we also have this, the Ford Focus. Now this car got launched very late in the day. We did not see it coming from Studio 397, but it did come along with the Hyundai. Both of these cars have a lot in common with the Toyota we've already seen. They're both front-wheel drive, obviously built around the same regulations, and they all cost the same amount of money. It's £4.21 per car, and for a pack of 2 of them, I think it's £7.52? It's £7.58, yeah, very nice round numbers there. Okay, first of all, we've got to find our way out of the paddock here. Where am I going? It's always a fun challenge of rFactor 2 when you're first picking a new track. It's how do you actually get out of the paddock? That is not going to be the right way. And I've been disqualified for going the wrong way. Okay, now I'm going to presume we're going left out here. That looks like the way into the pit lane. And we're going to go left because it's an oval. That's got to be right. Now, there is one main difference between the Ford and the Hyundai, this of course being the Ford Focus. It does have a unique engine, so whilst the Hyundai, much like the Infiniti and the Toyota we've already seen, they both use the kind of standard Toka Swindon package. Ford have their own, I think it's monotune developed engine that Team Motorbase use in their Focus. It sounds, so far, pretty much identical to the rest of them, which is a bit of a shame. I was hoping it might sound a little bit different, but to be honest, I don't really know if it sounds different in real life. But it should obviously produce very similar performance stats. This is a fairly windy start to the lap. Obviously, it being not a massive oval, the road course is not expected to be hugely wide and open. Now, at the end of the day, because this car is just a British touring car and it's built to the same kind of regulations, I am expecting it to feel very similar to the Toyota Corolla, and to be honest, the same with the Hyundai. I expect them to feel similar. That is not a bad thing, because the British touring cars on rFactor 2 genuinely feel very good indeed. Lining up for turn 1, I'm going to brake really early because I have no idea where I'm going. That is a much faster corner than I anticipated. Big curbs as well here. Just pulled back into the pits briefly to check something, but we're back underway. So yeah, as I was saying, the curbs are big here. You can see like a big aggressive stripy curbing, raised. You're going to get a lot of elevation off of them. You can see me on the grass there as well. This is very British touring car-esque. You know, we see the cars taking off with 2 wheels at not kill. Obviously there's nothing British about this place, but it would actually be quite a fun track to race touring cars around, and I've only done probably about, what, 1.5 laps so far? Okay, we're going to attack T1 a lot more. Nice and wide as well. Just got to watch out for the late apex. Back on the power. That wasn't so bad. Trying to avoid the curbs a little bit through here, especially on this right-hander, because that just throws you out into the grass, and I'm on the grass anyway. There's your front-wheel drive oversteer under braking. Yeah, genuinely, guys, you know, if you took away the visuals of this car, I wouldn't be able to tell you whether I was driving a Toyota or the Ford Focus. It feels very, very similar indeed. Actually, not quite so bad under braking for the first few laps. Normally I get more oversteer, which could be a car thing, it could just be the track, it could be my driving, I'm not sure, but it's not so bad. Now obviously this is just kind of a first impressions, and there is a lot of content to get through, so I'm not going to be spending too much time giving you any detailed feedback or reviewing the content anyway, but hopefully this just gives you an indication as to what it's going to be like. That was a terrible line into there, John. I think for the Hyundai, I'm going to jump back on this circuit because I'm actually quite liking the circuit. The layout's nice. Very simple, very kind of classic infield road course. But I think it's going to be good for racing. It's, you know, wide open, some big spaces, lots of lunging opportunities. So I think, yeah, when we jump in the Hyundai in a second, I'm going to try a race. Oh, that's the track limits. Okay, so if you cut that curb on the right too much, you do get a track limits violation. That's, I guess, good to know. shall we try the Hyundai? Here it is, the i30 BTCC. You can see we've got the Draper Tools livery there of Chris Smiley. We've got Tom Ingram's Ginster's car. That's the one I'm going to be driving. We also have Jack Butel's car as well, the 96. But as I say, we'll go for Ingram's Ginster's car. And yeah, we'll see how this track is with the AI. The other nice thing about doing this race is this is the first time we've actually had an rFactor 2 where we'll have all... I've been hit by an Infinity already. What I was trying to say... Oh dear, I was not ready for that. This is the first time I'll have been racing in rFactor 2 with all 4 touring cars as well. Obviously there's hopefully more to come in terms of British touring cars. Going the outside of Turn 1, that was nice and tidy. We're behind the rear-wheel drive Infinity. Let's have a look to the inside. I'm going to just be a bit careful. Corolla coming out of nowhere behind me and spinning off by the looks of it in the background. Oh, it's me doing the spinning off. And apparently that's track limits warning. Keep it together. Okay, we've already got some catching up to do. That's not a great start by me. Someone's in the pits already. Looks like they might be missing a rear wing. Oops. Right, we're going to try that one again. I'll pay attention at the start this time. Early on the brakes into T1 just to be extra safe. We'll try and squeeze around the outside where there seems to be some space. This is where it all went wrong last time. We'll watch out for the oversteer which is coming. We're going to nip down the inside if there's some space. No, actually, this is where it went wrong last time. And it almost went wrong again. I'm on the grass. Back on again. That is absolutely fine. We'll take a track limits hit. Need a bit more heat in the rear tyres. Oh, bit of bumping as well. I really like the track, I've got to be honest. The cars I love as well. I knew I would, that's the thing. They're not really standing out as anything majorly different. Obviously, it just adds to the selection, it adds to the variation and the variety in the field. The track is a nice new addition though. Really impressed by that. Didn't really know anything about it. It's very simple, very, very simple, like any infield roval. And I'm not usually a massive fan of these rovals. But this one, I don't know, there's something about it, I like it. Let's try and go for a later apex here. AI are getting a bit angsty in front of me. Oh my goodness, that was close to the wall. Right, I don't really want to make a move down the inside into this corner. It's a bit scary. Will we try it? Let's try it. On the brakes again. Actually, not so bad. It's a bit easier than Daytona, put it that way. The exit of the second part of it's a lot more forgiving as well. Let's squeeze down the inside here, back in the brakes, bit of curb. There we are. Lovely. Back to the inside. Oh, there's Paul Rivette in the Focus getting in the way a little bit. The AI are set quite high here, and this was a problem that I experienced last time when we did a video with the new touring cars. The AI are just a little bit slow. I could do with them being a bit quicker. Obviously, I can turn them up a little bit more. They're not quite full. Best lap time, 1:01. How is that track limits? No way. I didn't go over the curb, I just used them. No. That's the same thing as I did in the Ford. Keep out the barrier. Didn't keep out the barrier. There goes the lead. It's punishing when you start pushing. We found that out in both sessions so far. It looks like it's very easy to tip these things on the big curbs as well, which is always a bit of fun. We're coming out the last corner, and it's going to be a very mediocre P6. Next up, though, I'm going to be trying out a very different type of car that I am very excited to see how it's going to drive, and more importantly, how it's going to race. For this next piece of content, we are taking a trip back to British touring cars in the 1960s because we have this Austin Mini Cooper S Mark 1 Group 2. Now, it does have some racing modifications. This is the kind of car I believe that they would have been racing in the British touring cars. I know they did race minis back in the 60s and you had some amazing David versus Goliath battles, but I'm not sure if this was the spec. I'm going to guess it probably is. 125 brake horsepower, which considering how light the cars are is actually quite a lot. I expect them to be a little bit nippy. Again, with this car, you can pick it up for £4.21. I should have also mentioned, by the way, the circuit, World Wide Technology Raceway, you can pick up for, I believe, £6.74. Ah, that was 1p out this time. £6.73. I'm getting better. Given the age of this car, I think it would be appropriate to race it around the streets of Monaco, so we're going to go for 1966 Monte Carlo. We're going to start this race right from the back of the grid with lots of minis to try and battle with, so this should be a lot of fun. I should have mentioned, by the way, you can buy all of this content in a package together for just over £13.50. So that kind of makes it a little bit cheaper. You can have all the content that's just dropped. There is one more piece of content which I'm going to get to after this, and that piece of content is free, so you don't need to worry about the cost of that. Let's hit drive, and let's get on with this race in the Mini. I am facing the Armco barrier, and I don't know why. We've got a standing start this time, which makes things easier. We are such a long way from the front of the grid. Let's go. Now I'm thinking this thing won't be super slow, because 125 horsepower when the thing weighs buttons is actually a fair amount. Okay, they're all braking very early for T1, so we're going to just bounce our way through down the inside here. Okay, bit of understeer. Nothing too dramatic. We'll go around the outside. There were no heroics into Saint-Devote. This is pretty cool. Racing these historic minis on a track from the 60s. Whoa, locked up in the brakes as well into first gear. We're going to take it nice and easy. The force feedback's feeling great. It always does in rFactor 2, to be fair. It's one of the strong points. I'm getting a lot of the bumps through it, let's put it that way. Don't know whether I should go for a move here. Let's see what the AI do first. I'm going to brake. No, we're definitely not going to go for a move. That is not an overtaking spot in the 60s. Down by the harbour front. Elevation change. Oh no! Oh, how is that track limits? There's a wall. Thank goodness for invulnerability. When you have a spin or something, there's just no power to actually recover it too well, which is a bit of a shame. Let's... I'm so sorry. Yeah, we deserve to lose a position there. Give him a bit of a bump. We've got a long way to go to catch the group in front now, though, unfortunately. And it's entirely my fault. That'll do. Down the inside. Understeer. Don't tip over on me. These cars are going to be so much fun to race around small circuits. Like, think Brands Hatch Indy. You know, a race in this online on the competition system is just going to be absolutely excellent. Right, I'm going to attack through the chicane. Try and take it very quickly indeed. Going to brake a little bit. Get the front of the nose in and back on the power. There we are. And there's a crash up ahead. Okay, this is going to help us catch up. I'm going to be a bit more careful this time through here. He says. I did not live up to my word at all. What an absolute plonker. Cars going either side. We will just nip down the inside into the hairpin. Try not to wipe anyone out this time, thank you. That's much cleaner. Right, halfway through, down to 21st. All of that space I thought I'd made up, I threw into the wall, quite literally. Under braking, closing the gap. Can almost push the car in front along. Let's just go for it into here, because why not? Oh, I'm sorry, 73. That's it. It's just bouncing along. I wonder what kind of setup work you can do in these cars. Monaco's obviously not a track famous for its racing capabilities. It's very much you know, a driver circuit in terms of hot lapping, in terms of, you know, qualifying, but we know the overtaking is not great. When you're in a Mini, though, especially an old Mini like this, you can kind of overtake at any circuit. Like, even Monte Carlo, okay, this is the 60s version, which is maybe a bit more open, but still, you can have some great racing anywhere. And I can guarantee you, as I was saying earlier, a small circuit, any of the British circuits, it's just going to be absolutely magnificent, especially racing against your mates on this. One lap to go then, we're into the top 20. It's been a disastrous race for me, but I've enjoyed it nonetheless. I will hope to try and get fastest lap as well on this one. Lots of steering angle. Not exactly bothered about tyre wear right now. Not taking any chances. Do the up and under. There we go. That's how you do it. Why didn't I do that every other lap? That's going to be the finish. Don't think we're going to get fastest lap. Actually, yeah, 146.8. Okay, so we gained a lot of time on that last lap. But that's it, guys. We finished bang in the midfield. Or bang in the middle of the field, I should say. And considering we started from dead last, had 2 big crashes, I'll actually take that. Obviously, that Mini is a very different car to the British touring cars we were driving before. Pretty much the only thing they have in common is that they're front-wheel drive and they've got a roof on them. It shows you how far car development's come, because that thing was just bouncing around, even in first gear. And Monaco, it was just so softly sprung. But a lot of fun nonetheless. And as I say, racing, definitely going to be huge fun in that car, no matter where you go in the world. Now, what I've done in this video is saved what I think might be the best until last, because we also have the Caterham Academy car. Now, this is the final piece of content I'm going to show you today, the final new piece of content. It is free, which is the important thing, of course. You can see there, we'll go for our pink number 74. Now, these cars are, again, low on power, only got a 1.6 litre Ford engine. But for racing, it's just going to be amazing. I mean, loads of club racing series across the country use Caterhams and similar cars, low cost, stuff like that. There's a load of them in hill climbs and sprints as well. They're just fantastic cars. You can really throw them around. So I think I'm going to take it around Silverstone. We'll do a 3-lap race around the Grand Prix circuit and see if we can do a better job than we did in the Minis. So we're starting from 35th, starting all the way back at Club Corner. Let's change up to first. We're rolling forward a bit, but I'm not too worried. Of course, this is the first rear-wheel drive car I've driven all day. And the only rear-wheel drive car in this particular content drop. This thing's lightweight, not huge amounts of power, so in that sense it's quite similar to the Mini, but that's probably about where the similarities stop. I guess it's also a car based on the original design of a car from the 60s as well. Beautiful lights in sync. That is contact. I'm locked wheels. I'm locked wheels. Let me go. Please. No. Okay, underway for attempt number 2. Another decent start. We're going to try and carry the speed into Abbey. Let's just watch out for contact, because we do not want a situation like that. Attempt number 3. Once again, another good start, straight through the middle. We are going to still sneak down the inside into Abbey, but I'm going to just make sure I take some liberties. Now, with these cars obviously being kind of open wheel, contact is a lot more dangerous. You're much more likely to spin off, and we've got a car that's missing a wheel, rejoining very dangerously in front of us. I'm over the curb, I'm over the sausage curb, it's absolutely fine. The AI are pretty aggressive today. I'm not going to complain about that, it's good fun. Oh, the AI are all over the joint. Let's just keep out of trouble, get close to the curb, we'll go around the outside, into left field. This thing's very easy to get sideways, like, I keep feeling like I'm going to lose the back end. And I expected it to be tricky, but it's actually a little bit more tricky to drive than I honestly thought it would be. Let's just try and take that position, we'll stay out wide, see if we can pick up another one through here. Sideways. Whew. I'm enjoying it. A little bit of lap 1 still to go. Struggling even to get up to 5th gear, 175 kilometers an hour at the end of the straight. That's not a huge speed, but it's unsurprising with a car like this. Let's try and get a good run through Abbey then. Oh, no! Oh dear. What a disaster the races have been today. Absolute disaster. I was trying so hard to get a good run through Abbey and a good exit. I didn't really take into account that, you know, the AI might not, and then I'd be unable to avoid an incident. Oh, it's so snappy on this, through the slow corners. Like, going in there, it's so easy to spin. Oh, okay, yeah, I've broken him. There's wheels everywhere. We're going to give it one more go. Right then, let's give it one last go and try and actually make it to the end of the 3 laps. Oh. What were you doing there? I think, to be honest, we could probably keep it going. It was all going pretty well. I found a space. And then I just got sideswiped by the AI. We've recovered it though, so I will keep on going. Got a car off in the gravel. I'm going to try and go right to avoid them all, and that should hopefully give me a few positions. That car on the left there just bouncing its way into turn 1 into maggots. I'll take that, thank you. Make another move, don't make contact. Oh, curb, 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 curb. Well guys, I failed to make it to the end of a 3-lap race in this Caterham. Obviously we could go and get one, but I know there's been a heck of a lot of content covered in this video, so instead I'll just give you a quick summary of what I think of this car in my brief time spent mostly off the track. It's good fun to drive. It's trickier than I expected though. Like, I thought this was going to be, you know, quite friendly for beginners, user friendly. Not the easy car I expected, but a lot of fun nonetheless. And you can see racing the AI, you're going to have a big laugh with this thing because the AI are all over the place. And yeah, you can do lots of dicing back and forth. Low-powered cars generally create some really, really good racing. So yeah, I think that's the main thing from this particular content drop. We're seeing lots of cars that you won't necessarily want to hot lap too much. Maybe the British Touring car is a different example of that, but mainly racing is going to be really, really good with these cars. As always, a big thank you for watching, and that is going to conclude today's video. If you enjoyed this, if you want to see more racing game content in the future, as always, I ask you to subscribe to the TraxionGG channel because we cover pretty much everything racing game related. You will not miss a single thing, both on the YouTube channel and of course on the Traxion website. Also hit the notification bell if you want to see these videos as they are released appearing in your inbox. But that is going to be it for me today. Thank you once again, keep it pinned, and have a great day.